Okay, hey y'all. I was trying to get a little fancy. Let me see. What's up, Paige? Hey, Chanel. Let me see. I'm just trying to make sure everything looks good. Hey, Shy. What y'all up to? I decided to go ahead and go live because I don't know if I'll be able to go live tomorrow or anytime after that, y'all. I just have to do things when I know I have time. By the way, if you like my hair, if you like my wig or whatever, I have a wig review up right now, so make sure you check that out. Excuse me. So I wanted to like go ahead and go live so I could talk about this episode because child, these people, these couples, I think they messed up this season for real. They messed up because I think this season turned a lot of people off. Thank you, Paige. I really do think that like this season is like one that really turned a lot of people off because a lot of the comments I've been getting has been like, oh, I didn't even watch this episode. I'm not even gonna watch the rest of this season. Mainly because I think the Chris and Paige situation, obviously, but I also think because the rest of the couples were not like really matched that well either. Like Chris just he's like a special case. But the rest of them were poorly matched as well, except for Brianna and Vincent. You know what I'm saying? They seem to be, pretty solid. But even parts of their relationship are a little iffy. So it's just like we don't even have anybody like truly solid to be invested in. Everybody else is like they obviously should not be together. You're over this season. See, it's like I'm telling you, it's been so many people like telling me they were so over this season. And I just don't think that matching up somebody like Chris with Paige was worth it. Now, maybe he really did maybe he really did change his personality, for the interviews and stuff. He could have possibly done that, but I feel like if they did their due diligence, if they would have really talked with like maybe his exes or, past friends or something like that, they really could have gotten a sense of who Chris really is. Eric seems to be no better than Chris after that last episode. Over this season, I thought the Washington season was bad. This season takes the cake. Now remind me, which season was the Washington season? Because I forgot. I've seen all the seasons. I just can't remember what season was where. Vincent isn't abusive, but he is overly insecure. Yeah, I don't agree with putting the abuser label on Vincent, because I mean, I understand where some people are coming from. This is the way it begins, but this is way too early for y'all to be saying that. Like, I'll be careful putting that label on somebody. IDK, why they would put Bree with Vincent when she is not sure about kids. See, I'm gonna wait to discuss that because she might just be insecure about carrying children and not necessarily having children. Hold on one second, y'all. Sorry about that. So what was I saying? How she put us on hold? Oh, sorry, y'all. That was my grandmother, so I had to pick that up. I don't know what I was. Oh, I was talking about Brianna and Vincent. Brianna said she was scared to carry children, and if, in case y'all don't know, Black women are at high risk of um fatalities during pregnancies, and during childbirth. And it's a lot of, fishy things that be going on in the healthcare system when it comes to Black women. And so I could understand why she would be scared to carry a child. You know what I'm saying? That's totally understandable. I think if it were not for, I'm that's what I'm guessing. I really don't want to go too far into it because first I want to hear her reasoning, but I'm guessing that is the reason why. But so before we go any further, let's just go ahead and let me just get started. We're 10 minutes in, so I don't want to go too far. Let's see. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get started with each of the couples. So let's just get Paige and Chris out of the way because not much happened with them this episode, thank God. The main thing that I wanted to talk about is that Chris's apartment, because it don't look like it. It look, somebody said it looked like an Airbnb. It looked like Airbnb to me. So I'm just like, does he actually stay in Atlanta? And if he doesn't actually stay in Atlanta, why would he sign up for this show? I mean, it's just so many things that are just so off about him. But that's the main thing that threw me off. I'm like, that place just did not look like he really lived there. You think Paige been acting since the honeymoon? I wouldn't be surprised. Like, y'all, I would not be surprised if these were paid actors. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if she was just playing along. I wouldn't be surprised if her and Chris were in cahoots. I wouldn't be surprised if Chris and the baby mom were in cahoots and then they brought Paige in. Like, I just like this whole storyline is so, there's something unbelievable about it. So I could believe it. Chris is probably living with someone. I wouldn't be surprised. What did Keisha Cole say? I just want it to be over. He had an apartment on the matchmaking special. Pastor Cal was there, and they looked in his closet. I would have to go back and look, because I mean, that could have been, for all we know, that could have been something he rented just for that special. Tyler Perry is in Atlanta, right? Exactly. Is this a Tyler Perry play or a Love and Hip Hop skit? Which one? Everybody is in cahoots, and the joke is on us. In the promo of the show, Chris was in a hotel. Tyler Perry collaborated with Lifetime for this season. She don't even answer his calls when they are not filming. Look, I probably wouldn't answer his calls either. I probably wouldn't either. And somebody brought up a good point, is she probably doesn't do that because she does want him to show up for filming. So, like, Chris is one of those people that you got to play games with him in order for him to show up. Like, he one of those people, oh, you're not finna ignore me. Oh, I'm finna come tell you to your face that you're not going to ignore me. She want him to show up. Because Chris is somebody who half the time he doesn't even show up for filming. That's why I said on the little catch-up special video that I did for them, he should not get all the money that everybody else gets, because he barely showed up for filming. He literally put all the responsibility for filming on Paige. I think Chris does live in Atlanta, even though his ex lives out there now. She needs a new therapist. She claims she got 2 therapists. How you know it's a lie? Just some people go to their therapist and it takes a while because they're in denial. Sometimes it takes a long time to work through that sort of thing. Some people hear what they want to hear, or are not able to be as honest with themselves. Sometimes it takes a long time to have a breakthrough. Why answer his calls when you know he has nothing to say worth listening to? Ciao. And then get mad when other couples have to comment on him on Unfiltered. Sir, sir, show up if you don't want them to. Exactly. I think Chris only wanted a booty call, and Paige realized it. That could be it too. You have to think like you have to think like someone who is very childish. One of these childish player type of guys. Yeah, you have to get in that mindset. Nothing they do makes sense. I think Chris already broke his contract. That's why his Instagram has been so public. So he probably didn't get paid the whole amount. That probably is why you know what? That's a good point, because his page is open pretty much. Like, it wasn't hard for me to go to his page. And he's been ranting and raving pretty much every episode and going off on people. And usually you don't hear from the couple's social media until after the show, after like the reunion. So that does tell me that he possibly already got his check cut. And which he should. I'm sorry. If you don't participate, you shouldn't get paid. If Chris didn't end it, then she would have been hanging on for dear life. Chris complaining about Paige not picking up the phone for one day. Exactly. She actually does have other things to do that don't have anything to do with you. Her life does not revolve around you answering your phone call. That's how you know he's been dealing with women that are not as I'm not trying to shade the other women, but Paige, she has a lot going for her. And like she has just as much going for her as he does. I mean, we really don't even know what he has, but let's just go by what he says. If you have as much going on as you say you do, then and you're busy, imagine Paige will be just as busy. We're gonna get to that, Shalise. We'll get to that. I hope I said your name right. I bet they're still sleeping together. They're one of those people, they're not gonna leave each other alone for years to come. For years to come. So let's go ahead and move on. Because not much happened with them anyway. I'm still holding on to hope with them because literally they're our only hope. But Vincent, he keep on doing stuff that I'm just like, what is going on? Like, what was with this whole long list of things that you want to do and calling her your sugar mama, and like you expect her to do all this stuff simply because you gave her a boat date that I'm pretty sure production paid for. You might have set it up, but I'm pretty sure production paid for that. So, what's up, Days with Deshauna? What are your thoughts on the sugar mama comments? He found out how much she makes? Child, I think he was playing. Look, I want to say he was playing, but usually when you're playing, you'll say it. You know what I'm saying? Like he might have been playing. He might have been joking because Jacob said he was joking and we didn't pick up on his jokes. So maybe he very well could have been joking. He could. But it was just lasting a long time. I want this. I want this. I want this. And you want me to pay for it? Yeah, you my sugar mama. And I want this. And I want that. So if it was a joke, there's a little bit of truth to every joke. So that would have me on alert. It would. I ain't gonna lie. It would have me on alert. Because let's not act like there's not men like this out there that, find out how much a woman makes and, take full advantage. I'm not saying that's what this situation is, but you just have to be careful about that sort of thing. I think it was like a joke, the joke night being a little harsh for national TV, but I think he was joking. You got to also remember he's from Dominican Republic. He's not from the States. Okay. Vincent better not be no homosexual. Jokes have a thin layer of truth or supposed truth. That's what makes it humorous. Exactly. Exactly. She's a senior engineer. I can bet in ATL she's making 100K plus. You better go, Brianna. Okay. Hey, honey. Vincent cut up so bad on the last date Bree planned. He's going to be lucky if she takes him anywhere else. That's what I said on my last review. I'm just like, look, you threw a whole temper tantrum. The last thing she came up with. Why would she want to come up with any more dates for you? And you acted a fool the last one. I feel like you need to plan at least 5 or 6 more dates to make up for that one. Because you literally ruined the one she came up with because you got in your feelings. Maybe she would have been willing to give you some more dates on that list. And you know what I'm saying? Like she probably would have been, but you have to have a good attitude. Okay? And to say her dates will be at home, I don't think he was joking. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Brianna laughs at everything. I feel like now he thinks he's funnier than he really is. could be. I think his ego is too fragile to bum off of a woman. I can see him being intimidated by her. It does seem like he's intimidated by her. Somebody did write that on one of my reviews, that Vincent may act the way he does because he's intimidated by how much she makes and he's not necessarily stable in his career yet. That could be a part of it. That could be it. I wonder how much he makes because they always mention his finances as if he's kind of struggling. Well, he knew, like, he's starting off his own thing, so he should know it takes time to build up a business. But if you're not secure with that, like, if as long as Brianna is okay with that, with you building, working towards something, you should be confident in yourself. You're the one who decided to build something for yourself. And if you're not confident in it, how am I supposed to be confident with you doing it? And then you're taking out all your frustration on me. I wonder how much he makes. Oh, I don't think he was thinking when he said all those, I want this, I want that, just was not a good look. I don't think so either. I truly hope that was a joke. I want it to be a joke so bad. But I really want to know about next week about the pregnancy because I believe her and Paige wanted kids soon because of health conditions. I forgot where I read that. I don't know, but I'm gonna wait till next week because I don't want to just speculate too much. Vincent will be a cat man, staying at home, taking care of Cookie. Child, he better have a better attitude if that's what the way he want to live. You gonna have to have a better attitude than that. Yeah, he was definitely joking. My stepbrothers are Dominican and they joke like that too, but they pay for everything. His ego won't allow Brianna to cover everything. Okay. We'll see. I could believe that. I could believe that that might just be his sense of humor. But some of y'all need to tell us when you're joking because your jokes are not curling all the way over. They ain't hidden the way you think they are. And maybe it was hidden for her. I don't know. But it wasn't translating on camera. Vince needs to take his frustration out at the gym. You know what? Even though I know you was clowning, going to the gym really does, like, if you're anxious, it really does help with anxiety and frustrations and things like that. Oh, one of Brianna's expectations was a man who made more than her. She threw the requirement out the window because she likes how he looks. That is true. I do remember her saying that. But you know what? Sometimes you require things and then you meet someone and you're willing to compromise. And you never know. Eventually, Vincent might make, you never know. His business might take off. Don't pick on my chubs. Look, I don't mind a little thickness at all. I don't. So I don't even think Vincent is like fat or too overweight. I really just think he needs to go up a size in his clothing. But I don't think he's just like, ridiculously overweight. But he himself said he was uncomfortable with his weight. So let Vincent tell it Brianna been cooking too much. I know. Don't put it on Brie because you was already a little thickums when you met her. Let's not do that. Your phone didn't alert you? What? No wonder. I felt like this live was a little slow in the beginning. And I didn't get an alert. Usually I get an alert to my phone too whenever I start, and I didn't get one. So I don't know what's going on with YouTube. Thickums. You remember when Tamar used to call Vincent Thickums? That's where I got that from. Oh, okay. Let's move on to the next couple. We just saying a few minutes on the treadmill is calming. It is. It is. Y'all, I don't know what's going on with YouTube. They're not alerting people. I'm kind of mad. That's trash. They need to get it together. Maybe they're punishing me because I hadn't posted in a month. I do know they say like when you don't post in a while, you kind of get thrown out of the algorithm. But they should at least be sending people alerts when I do post. They need to hang it up and divorce. I agree. Like, what are we stretching this out for? Because neither one of y'all are really trying like y'all say y'all are. Y'all get on here, y'all get in the confessionals. Oh, I'm trying. Oh, I want this to work. Oh, and don't even try in person for real. Neither one of them. Because Jacob, you exposed yourself this episode because you're not trying either. On Unfiltered, Jacob said Haley only comes to the apartment for filming. Oh no, that's trash. That's trash. No. What? Let's all say it together. Do you think I'm attractive enough? I'm handsome. I'm handsome. I'm handsome. I'm handsome. Haley and Chris need to be together. Child. The age gap is too much. Look, it may just be, but if she agreed to get someone that was 10 years older, which I'm assuming somewhere on the application they asked, how much of an age gap would you be willing to have? I'm sure they just didn't pair somebody up 10 years apart and they didn't make sure, they could have though. I mean, stranger things have happened. But maybe she didn't realize she didn't want an older man. I don't know, but it just maybe it's just not this older man. I don't know. Jacob probably stinks all that beef and egg. Oh, didn't Jacob say on Unfiltered that Haley wasn't his type either? Jacob just waiting for them 8 weeks to be up. Pretty much. I mean, if they don't like each other, just leave each other alone. Because neither one of y'all are really trying. I just think, like, personally, if you're going to sign up for Married at First Sight, y'all should try harder than they are. They're not, neither one of them are trying at giving their full all into it. Like, regardless of whether y'all are truly into each other or not, you should be trying harder. They should have put Eric and Haley together. Apparently, they have the same political beliefs. I could believe that. I don't think the age gap was the problem. Jacob is just weird and his pH is probably off due to his diet. Y'all be going in on Jacob. The conversation about his ex was weird. That was kind of weird. Jacob strikes me as the type of person that would be with weird people because he doesn't seem like he would be able to approach anyone. I think Haley likes more Southern guys like Bobby in the past season. I could believe that too. Jacob cannot be haunted. His body odor keeps his spirits away. He's ghost, vampire, and wolf repellents. What? Jacob and Mindy would have been perfect. You know what? I could see that. I really could see that, Alton. Yeah, I could see Jacob and Mindy. I think they will really like each other too. Because both of them seem like they really want to like just settle down. And they're both kind of like very laid back And I feel like she wouldn't mind him being laid back, but she would also bring him out of his shell a little bit. They both seem like they would like to work out together. Yeah, I could really see them together. Whatever happened at that honeymoon sealed their fate. Maybe they should have waited like Claire and Ryan. We'll get to them, okay? Jacob is just odd. He's not for everyone. I think they should have paired him with someone who was a little bit odd, like him as well. And like Alton said, Mindy, even though Mindy isn't like off the wall odd, she has her little odd ways. Um, I think maybe somebody like Amelia would have definitely like found a way to, accept him. Now it doesn't have to be an artsy, person. But just somebody that it readily accepts quirkiness, because some people are just open arms to pretty much how you are, just come as you are. I'm open arm to it. But somebody like Haley is very judgmental and wants you to dress a certain way and wants you to act a certain way because she's gonna get embarrassed easily. You know what I'm saying? Production needs to stop with the socially awkward angle. Didn't work with Henry or Jacob. I agree. I think you should bring people on this show that aren't you need to be able to talk to people. You know what I'm saying? Bruh, someone said he looks like Lord Farquaad from Shrek. Who, Jacob? Really love your post. Insight commentary. So here for decision day. Can only imagine it'll be super petty. I know, but thank you, sweet tea, darling. Awkward people need love too. It's not their fault. I just think if you're gonna get the awkward people, like so for instance, Bennett is a little bit quirky, but he's willing to be open and speak with people, and you know what I'm saying? Um, I think if you're gonna get somebody quirky, it needs to be somebody that's sociable. When they get around people, not just super quiet and withdrawn. I don't see anything wrong with being a little bit, maybe a little bit pulled back, but you don't need to be so withdrawn that you're not sociable, if that makes sense. Haley wasn't ready for this experiment. I don't think so. I don't think so either. I think Haley is too picky. Like, I don't think you should come on this show if you're going to be really picky. You have to be confident in your quirks. I think Jacob is confident in his quirks. He never held back any of his 80s stuff from her. But she just was uncomfortable with that. I agree. I think the honeymoon didn't go as good as Jacob thinks. If it was that good, Haley would be going back for more like Paige. Yeah. Sadly, I agree with you. It's the shirtless pic of Jacob in bed, and they put it side by side with Laura Farquaad. What? I would have to see that. Haley needs to have an adult relationship before trying to get married. Possibly. I just think she needs someone that she's a little bit more compatible with. So let's move on. Ciao. Oh, that's a good point, Shalise. Jacob is confident. Haley is just insecure with how confident he is with his quirks. Yep, I agree with that. Sure. Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. 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 Ryan gotta go. his hair, it don't move. Kimberly, you're here to defend Ryan. Oh, you're gonna be the cliff of this live. Clara, it's like a dog in heat. What? Haley is into the 80s too. She just won't admit it. Wearing Adidas sneakers. She has a stonewashed jean skirt and it's straight from the 80s. I agree. She does wear some 80s pieces for her not to be so into the 80s. She just don't even know style like that. She don't even really, she wears things because she sees it in the store, but she don't even know what it's inspired by. She's somebody who shops off the mannequin. But anyway, y'all are taking me out. That hair, that Phil and Lil hair. Who raised Clara and why? Why would she think it's okay to slob on that man? Oh. I did not mean to read that, but why does she not feel like she should get anything in return? I don't know. But thank you so much for the super chat, sweet tea, darling. Just want to send support. I'm going to catch the replay. Thank you so much. I really appreciate this so much. He even looking at her like he's disappointed at something she said in the photo. How can you only be receiving and not giving? Okay, so I see that some of you agree, some of you are putting it on Claire, sometimes some of you are putting it on Ryan. And Ryan and that Phil from Rugrats Slick Back can't keep it moving. He's so unseasoned to me. Ooh, child, y'all are crazy. I cannot. Look, let me say this. I think he's very selfish. I do. I think he's very selfish. And I think him doing this and allowing her to give and not receive and him not reciprocate, I think that's very selfish. And for him to refuse to go all the way, but allow her to do that, I feel like that says a lot about him. For Clara to be doing it and not receiving anything in return and not protesting, it's like, Clara, why are you doing this? I'm trying to figure out, because she's giving me a little bit of page right now. Like, why are you giving and not receiving? Maybe she is getting more from him in other areas, but her not receiving in this area obviously means a lot to her. So I'm concerned with why she feels the need to do these things and not receive anything. Like, and a lot of people, and I just saw some people think she's just so hot and just, it's only been a month, but I could understand why she feels that way. She's giving and he's not doing anything in return. And then Ryan has the nerve to feel like they have the best relationship on the show. They're doing better than 99% of the couples, and he's just giving out advice like they're just so seasoned in the game. Like, he's so delusional. I don't understand that. Ryan thinks everything is great because she clearly isn't communicating her needs. I agree with that as well. There's got to be a reason why he's so delusional. She ain't telling him. Like, she's telling him, but I think she's sugarcoating it too much. She's saying that, yeah, I want this, but girl, you're going to have to break it all the way down and be completely honest. Be straight up. Someone in another live made the point that maybe he's not so he can get an annulment. Good point. Thank you for bringing that up. I would have never thought of that. That is a good point. Maybe because he's one of those people, he thinks about 15 steps ahead. So he's thinking like, look, she ain't getting none of my money. she ain't getting none of my money. And if we technically didn't have intercourse, then we can get this marriage annulled. Okay. Now, it still ain't right. It still ain't right because she's fully invested and you're thinking this way. That's not cool, you know, and you're halting your relationship. You're probably going to be the reason why y'all break up because of something like that. Okay. Okay, Clara is the one moving her stuff in. True. That's true. Clara needs to lay it out to Ryan the way she was telling the other girl. She needs to tell him the same exact way with the same passion. Girl, I'm sorry. You need to get in there and tell him the truth. He needs to hear it as rough as possible. And you need to protest. Okay? You need to protest and you need to boycott. Cause he wouldn't be getting nothing else from me. Are you crazy? Why did he come on the show if he's not gonna give his all? Right. How are you gonna let her do that to you knowing full well you don't want to do that to her? But Claire also seems one-dimensional. Their whole storyline is about lack of intimacy. She's like Mishka. He likes Mishka more than her. I do agree that she's very shallow because when he was trying to have a deep conversation with her, she zoned out and she even was really rude to him. Like, are we having a motivational speech? And it's like, girl, maybe you should be trying to get to know him a little bit deeper. Y'all are married. I think she has a very limited view on what she thinks love is and how you fall in love because she didn't have that in the past. I think her past relationships were probably very shallow like that. And that's why they were so able to treat her the way that they did. You know what I'm saying? That's why she's never had an emotional connection when it comes to intimacy and things of that nature. And so I don't think I agree with that. But Ryan is down bad. I'm sorry. I still think he cares for her. I don't know. I don't know. Why is Clara rushing? Is she trying to lock down, i.e., get pregnant? She's already moving her stuff in the house instead of waiting until decision day. Well, they're married, y'all. I mean, they're married though. So I understand why she's wanting to have intimacy and wants to move in because they're married. Like, if you're really all in, if you're really saying, I want to be in here for the long run, what's wrong with any of that? She told him she used to get some after 2 weeks. I think he is turned off. He needs mental stimulation and she shut deep conversations down. That could be a part of it. The only reason why I'm like, I don't know about him. It's just the fact that he's getting something from her. It's not like he shut everything down. They're not doing anything. He's receiving from her and is not giving her anything in return. Is it would be one thing if they weren't doing anything at all, or at least like doing everything but it's reciprocal. But he's receiving and not giving anything to her, and that changes everything for me. But every time Ryan talks, he says a whole lot of nothing. Um, true. But I think it's because she doesn't really engage in the conversations. He is boring, but maybe they should try to engage in something deeper. Maybe the experts can give them like some conversation starters about deep conversations they need to have. Girl, you better listen to that TED talk and then he'll make your bed rock. Alexis. Yeah, put yourself in timeout. I think it's editing. We ain't seeing some things. I do agree with that too. I do think it's some things being left out because their conversations have to have more than that. They have to have more than that. You see some chemistry with them. I think they're trying to force something, but I don't unless it's editing. It just their chemistry don't seem to be as they say it is. They claim it's so tight and they have a good bond in every other area, but it just I don't see it. Ryan likes Mishka more than Clara. Men will keep with the bad behavior if allowed. Exactly. You got to set your boundaries early with men. You really do, because they will walk all over you. Even the best man, even a quote unquote good man, will walk all over you because first of all, I mean, you just have to set your boundaries. I mean, that's anybody really. A woman can do that with a man too. You have to set your boundaries. And if you don't like something, how will a person know you don't like something unless you tell them? And if they keep crossing the line, that's another thing. But if you never tell them, they're going to keep doing that thing that bothers you. It's kind of, the same thing with Vincent. Habitual line steppers, like Charlie Murphy said. Lots of things have been left out. I wouldn't be surprised, y'all. I fear Claire doesn't know how to connect outside of sex. Me too. And even then, she says she doesn't really connect that way. They can be great, but he's not the camera type like Karen. I could see that. Ryan is very religious and maybe he doesn't want to create soul ties so soon, especially if Clara was giving it up after 2 weeks to her partner. But let me tell you this. First of all, you're married. So the whole point of, being a Christian is to wait until you're married. He's married. Two, um, you're doing other things. Like I said, it would be different if he wasn't, but you're doing other things, so you might as well. Like, what do you, child? I don't think Claire fits in with him and his family. That is why his mom said she is not what she expected. Maybe that's a part of it. Clara ain't seen him with his shirt off. If she don't get in the shower with her husband, that's crazy to me that she's never seen him with his shirt off, but yet he receives from her. That's crazy. That's crazy. Clara, what are you doing, girl? Like, what is she doing? I just the more I talk about it, the more I'm like, girl, I wouldn't even be valid. No, I would not be participating in any way. She said it wasn't a big deal to her, but if that's the case, why is she so pressed? Um, because I think she meant emotionally it's not a big deal. But I think it's a big deal just like as far as that's one of her needs. Um, and I think the reason why she's pressing it so hard is because he's getting something from it and she's not. I think if they were both like celibate all the way and not touching, not doing all this extra stuff, I think she would be reacting differently. This season makes you think twice about getting married, child. These were just some really bad matches. Let's go ahead and move on, y'all. I can't be on here for too much longer. So I want to go ahead and get to Eric and Virginia. She can stop, and hopefully she does after this episode. Cause child, I don't want to. Now, Clara, you can't keep on sitting up here crying and complaining, and you keep on doing it. Okay, I don't want to hear about this week after week. Cause you choosing to do it. Can't nobody make you do nothing. Who these people? I just There was something unsettling about these two last episodes. Eric is a teapot waiting to steam. Eric is toxic. Eric and Virginia need to divorce. Virginia needs to run. Control freak. She's a better sport than I am. Second, where did they find these men this season? Child, they said don't find no man in Atlanta. That's what they said. They said don't go to Atlanta to find nobody. And this was not a good this didn't make me think no differently this season. Eric is treating Virginia like a daughter, not a wife. If he gives one more ultimatum, exactly. It was so uncomfortable watching them. And he wondered why he was divorced. Triggered. Ooh. Child. I've always had my eye on Eric. At first, he acts like his first marriage wasn't a big deal. Now that's all he talks about. I noticed that too. I'm like, so I thought you said that your first marriage didn't mean nothing to you, but now it's the standard for this marriage. Virginia needs therapy to deal with anxiety and better coping skills. They both should get couples counseling so they can relate to each other better. I think they both need individual counseling. And when I say both, I do mean both. And Eric needs to get in there ASAP. Eric reminds me of someone who will pinch you under the table and act like he didn't. What? Eric is delusional. The last thing Virginia needs is quit her job and have kids. I know. Child, please don't give him that much control over your life. Noted not moving to Atlanta. There must be something in the Gatorade. Child, I don't know what's going on in Atlanta. He failed at marriage, so he's not the expert he thinks he is. Exactly. We need to hear from his first wife. And she was very pretty. She was very pretty. I saw a picture of her. Eric got girl arms. He needs to chill. He's not gonna find somebody better. Eric said he asked for an independent woman. That's the opposite of what he seems to really want. Yeah, Eric doesn't know what he wants for real. If he said he wanted an independent woman, no, you're trying to make an independent woman dependent upon you. He wants her to need him. And I'm guessing that's the way the dynamic is between his father and mother, but that is not how Virginia is. I'm tired of these ultimatums too. Too insecure. Therapy won't work for Eric because he doesn't ever think he's wrong. I don't know the ex-wife's name. I saw somebody sent me a picture of them. When he nitpicks about Rocky, I feel like he's low-key talking about her too. Yeah, definitely. I definitely think he's referring to her when he talks about that dog. Because he already said that his dog acts like him and her dog acts like her. So, yeah. While he talking about just leave, he will probably stalk her if she does. Look. Okay? I could see him turning into Joe from You in a minute. Okay? And he has the money to do it. Every time he comes on screen, I think about you saying he has a hanger in his shirt with his sharp shoulders. I'm telling you, y'all, that's what I think about every time. It's like he still got the hanger in his, it's like he still got the hanger in his top and his button up. If Virginia slapped him, that would make his day. What? Eric got married at 25 and failed, so he really don't know nothing. Right. He wanted a traditional submissive wife. He is projecting most definitely. He's Mr. Know-it-all since his parents are still married. He thinks he knows because he had a good example. Thinks Virginia comes from a broken home and hasn't seen a good example. But the thing is, just because your parents have been married for that long, that doesn't mean they were the best example. Just because your mom stuck around or your dad stuck around, that doesn't mean they didn't have a toxic relationship. Some people have been married for 40, 50 years and they don't get along. And their marriage was toxic. And they sleep in different beds. And he had about 4 or 5 outside children. You know what I'm saying? There are a bunch of pages that have stuck around in their marriage. And that doesn't mean it was a successful one just because y'all stay in that marriage. I know some people that are in some very toxic marriages. And to the outside world, their marriage looks like relationship goals. But inside that marriage, child. So that's all I'm saying. Like, just because your parents have been together, they don't mean they were the best example. And I can only assume that's where Eric gets a lot of his ways from. Eric is manipulative. He's exposing his narcissism. I will say he is, the way he dealt with her during that conversation was very manipulative because he gave an ultimatum. And I feel like his ultimatums definitely are very manipulative because he throws them out every time they have an argument. And then he said things to her like, well, are you going to get over it or not? Are you going to get over it or not? Like, basically, are you going to agree with me, or like, are you just going to agree with me, or are you going to leave? And then he played the victim. Like, he tried to manipulate her in so many ways. And she was already like on the verge of like a nervous breakdown or panic attack or whatever. She was mentally, she wasn't doing well. And he was still pushing her. Yeah, and then when she started crying, he put his hand on her knee and asked what's wrong. Yeah, that was, y'all, that creeped me out so bad. I was like, wait a minute. You pushed her to this point and what's wrong? Uh-uh. Gaslighting. Gaslighting. Tell it, Pinky. I know a couple where the wife was an alcoholic and abuses the husband, and they've been married for 40 years, 40 plus years. That is just sad. It is. It is. And it, oh, I'm not even gonna say nothing because I don't want to put nobody business out there. But yep, I've heard of things, that exact situation. We forgetting Eric was a tag along to the bar. He got jealous of Virginia with a dog. Eric is not a reliable source. I agree. We definitely can't go based off of what he said because he's gonna spin it in his own to his own narrative. He told her to leave, then got mad when she left. Right. The gaslighting is unbearable. Help, police, police, help, police. For real. Eric acts like a husband from a Lifetime movie. Well, he on the right network. When he said, I always get hurt, child, I see why you always get hurt. I see why you always get hurt. You stay playing the victim. If It's My Way or the Highway was a person, child, I know. Plus, he was still drunk. Now, a lot of people think that Eric was drunk on this episode. Um, he's a pilot, so I know that pilots, they're not supposed to drink like that. But I wouldn't be surprised if he was drunk. Um, but I don't know. I can't say for sure because he didn't seem visibly drunk to me, but I don't know. He may have. And she apologized at the end. I know because he manipulated her. He manipulated her. He manipulated her so bad that she apologized. And the craziest part is, yeah, she's struggling with anxiety. So that wouldn't help a situation. So I could understand her taking responsibility for her role. But the fact that he didn't apologize whatsoever, he didn't take responsibility for none of his actions, yeah, that's toxic. That's toxic. The only ultimatum I agree with him on was the children thing. That he didn't want to have children, that she didn't want to have children immediately, but he does. I hope she don't have no kids by him. Not anytime soon. If you go back to the beginning, he was slurring his words and not making sense. Like that time he was talking to the guys in Vegas. I would have to go back and watch because I wasn't watching that closely to how he was speaking. So maybe I overlooked it. Poor Virginia, I hope that she stands up for herself. Me too. Eric is just going to beat her down until she just goes along with whatever. That's what he is trying to do. That's what he's trying to do. Hopefully he's not successful because she still has some fight in her. You know what I'm saying? She's still coming back and defending herself. At least she was in the beginning. I hate the fact that she, just apologized and took all responsibility. But I think the experts need to step in at this point because it's getting so toxic, it's affecting her mental health. And so I think at this point, y'all need to really come in and step in because this is getting out of hand. The way he smirked as she was outside with the producers made my skin crawl. Right. That was weird. Like, that's creepy, dude. Like, were you trying to you were trying to make her that upset? Virginia needs to run before Eric completely breaks her spirit. They can't. They're on the set of Unmatchable. Is that why they're so absent? We haven't even seen Dr. Pepper since the matchmaking. Where has Dr. Pepper been? We need to put excuse me, where is Dr. Pepper? Like, she's been absent noticeably from this season. And I think she's gonna be on the next episode. So okay, but I usually Dr. Pepper, when Dr. Pepper comes in, she has great advice. And I feel like she always tends to help the situation. And she calls out, what needs to be called out. And where has she been? I also understand Dr. Pepper is an older lady, so maybe she's trying to protect herself during C-19, and we'll never know. Maybe she was affected by it. I don't know. But she was noticeably absent. He likes pushing her to the edge so he can grab her and save her, asking her what's wrong after all the foolishness. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Good point, Jocelyn. Mm-hmm. That's just creepy. But y'all, I'm gonna have to go ahead and jump off of here. This was a really good live. I'm gonna try to go live every Saturday instead of going live on Fridays. I'm gonna try to do Saturdays. You would think after last season, experts would step up their game. What is their role if they're not going to give advice? Exactly. And they can Zoom like they didn't know. Okay, you right. You right. Let me not give no excuses. You right, SNL. They could do Zoom meetings. Mm-hmm. Are we doing Ready to Love this season? Oh, Ready to Love is already back. Ready to Love is already back, y'all. I missed it. I'm gonna have to go back and watch it. I didn't even know it was back. So if I do cover it, which most likely I will start next week. And we'll do a live every week. It came on last night? Okay. Well, this is what we'll try to do. Let me see how I'm gonna try to do this. Maybe I'll do a quick live before my Married at First Sight live. Because I want to go live every Saturday for Married at First Sight. So maybe I'll do like a quick 30-minute live before Married at First Sight live, and then I'll go live for Married at First Sight on Saturdays. This Is Us. I decided that I'm gonna. Is This Is Us? Is the season over with yet? I'm gonna do a live for This Is Us once the season is over. We'll talk about the whole thing. New season just started yesterday. No matching yet. Okay, that's fine. So that's good. I'll start next week. I didn't even know. I'm excited. I didn't know it came back that quick. Okay. I'm excited about that. I didn't know they came back so quickly. But let me go. I'll be going live Saturdays. Ready to Love, Married at First Sight. The review I'm gonna try to have up by Friday. I'm gonna start working on my rants again. I'm gonna do my 5 favorite sitcoms. I'm gonna do rants on my 5 favorite Black sitcoms: Girlfriends, Martin, Fresh Prince, A Different World, and Living Single. So I can't let y'all know as soon as I don't know how soon they're gonna come out, but I know I want to do rants on those shows at least. And you might get some sooner if I decide to do it on a movie or something like that, because movies, they're easier to do rants on because you can watch a movie all at once. But seasons, it takes time to watch. And yeah, that's just like some things that are coming to my channel. Also, you can look forward to some beauty videos here and there as well. But I will see you guys next time. Love you. Shout out to everybody that showed up to the live, even though y'all didn't get a notification. And yeah, can we do premieres, more of those? I will do a premiere the next episode. I was gonna do a premiere this time, but I didn't have time to like be in the comments. I like to be in the comments with y'all, but I'll try to do a premiere next time. Okay, y'all, love you, and I will see you in the next one.